Hi, welcome to Questlog. I'm Helene Hannon.
And I'm Joseph Leake.
And I'm Tim Hannon. So, Joseph wanted us to give our last names so that everyone knew very well that Helene and I are married.
It's true.
It's the human element. That's what I was saying. But I want our guests to know the whole situation. And soon we'll tell them the whole story of how I, the third wheel, met the two of you in graduate school and playing old video games in your apartment and things like that. They'll know the whole story, viewers, eventually. They'll know everything. But for now, this is enough.
Well, because
I'm the third wheel.
You're the third wheel and you often tell stories over and over again.
Yes, they'll hear it right. Long-time listeners eventually will hear the same stories again and again.
That'll be fun.
And we'll say.
Adam might cut them out. He'll say, "We've covered this already."
So we wanted to open up with a gaming update, what games we're playing, because this is a gaming podcast and that those are important things. So we've been playing a lot of Dragon Quest lately. So I just finished Dragon Quest 3, the 2D HD remake, which was awesome and wonderful. And I'm glad I played the remake because they put a little circle around things you should go to instead of making you find them yourselves. And now I'm playing Dragon Quest 11, which is the most recent one.
Oh, wow. And what system is that on?
That's on PS4, 5.
Oh, okay.
The PS4 version.
The most recent.
But Joseph has decided that instead of playing a recent one, something up to date, something that is, more, what is it, quality of life? Streamlined. Joseph has decided to buy Dragon Warrior on NES.
Yeah.
Yep. And play that. So how are you doing with this, Joe?
Well, and there's a story behind this. I feel I should justify myself, or maybe maybe some viewers might say that this requires no justification. Start with the first Dragon Warrior game, but it's because I did not grow up playing RPGs of any kind. The only one I tried to play was one I rented from a video game store and disappointingly thought, this game is broken. This is not how games work, when I was like really little. And
What was it, like Final Fantasy 6 Chrono Trigger or something?
No, it wasn't even anything prestigious like that. No, it wasn't. I said really little. I was a teenager. It was I think the Mario RPG.
Joseph.
What?
Oh,
One of
okay.
Helene's favorite games.
We're going to come back to this. Continue.
We are. Well, look, I'm reformed. I'm reforming because I met the Hannons and they, I've always been so into RPGs and really, and I think this is something we'll get into at some point in future episodes. It's not our topic today, but the finding a kind of depth and richness in them that I didn't know about, and they would tell me these fantastic stories of the plots and all of this, and so this has been building for some time because I've known the Hannons. I've known you two since 2008 or so, or 7. Yeah. So,
Well, you've known me since 2007, and then
Right.
Helene since 2008.
We spoke on the phone in 2007.
Oh, that's
Oh, you had to see each other.
see, okay. Right. So that means I've known you both since 2007.
There you go.
Yet do you really know Joseph if you don't know the beard?
No. For those of you who don't know, there is a beard and you have to know the beard. So, right. Helene didn't know me until she saw that I had a beard. Well, she could probably perceive it over the phone.
I couldn't.
Darn. Well, I'm disappointed. Well, okay. It's despite you not recognizing my beard over the phone. This may be this could wind up on the cutting room floor.
No, this is hard to say. This is solid. This is
So this is right. So anyway, this is a long time coming because we've been friends for a while and we've shared many stories of video games and other things we've been passionate about. But I just haven't still until now really decided to try RPGs. And Tim was telling me a couple months back he was waxing nostalgic and eloquent simultaneously about his time as a middle schooler or something like that, or younger, playing the first Dragon Warrior game, and he caught me up in it so much that I not only thought, all right, it's time to it's time to try RPGs, so I can share this with the Hannons. But also, I thought I wanna know what he experienced. I wanna know this experience he's describing to me that was formative to him. So all of this is a long way of saying that's why I've started with the very first Dragon Warrior game. And I think this is really, isn't it, relevant to our whole theme on this podcast, isn't it? I mean, I'm partly doing it for the nostalgia, and because, if you're gonna jump into JRPGs, but also you have a nostalgic bent, this is perfect, right? But also I wanna follow a little bit the two of you, your journey, because, when I finish this, you can put me on to the next thing, and I wanna catch up a little bit on that part of our friendship that I don't know anything about, or that I don't have direct experience with. So you'll tell me what to play next for an RPG once I do this. It's a lot of fun. I will say. I have no problem with it being an old mode. I even like that you guys have said, haven't you, that it's a little clunky compared to later
Yeah.
things, right? A little more primitive,
Hunk factor. Yeah, primitive.
and I'm digging that.
Yeah.
I like old primitive computer and console games, so I'm having a lot of fun.
There's something so wonderful about the primitive. I mean, I think, I don't remember if it was you, Joseph, or Feline remembered that you need to like press the stair button
Yeah.
to go down the stairs. It's like, it's not on even automatic, which, I mean, I've done a smidgen of coding. It's not hard to do that, but they had such limited space.
Yeah. Right.
And one of the things that the three of us have talked about a lot is that limit made those games just it gave them a quality where of like yearning,
Yeah.
of yearning to try to tell this story, to create this world that had, you know, a modicum of a tiny, tiny small bit of memory. That's all you got.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. Yeah, my favorite story of this, and it is one of those stories you two have probably heard me cite before, but one of the developers of the old Battlezone, like Atari game, or maybe it was a arcade game first. The little vector game. It's just black background with green 3D vector, and you're driving this tank around, and there's mountains in the distance. And one of the developers said that he got a letter from a kid at one point saying, "Oh, I just kept driving forward. I wanted to explore the mountains, and like that I drove the tank. If you just keep going and ignore all the other tanks shooting at you, you can go up the mountain and down into the volcano, and there's a castle inside the volcano." Now, obviously, the developer knew this was nonsense and the kid is totally making this up, because if such a thing existed, he would know about it. He'd have had to put it in. He can't do this. But how cool that is, that the very limitation, you just picture this kid. I don't know what inspired him to lie to the write a letter lying to the developer, but his imagination took over, and he's just like trying to get that tank as far into the horizon as he can, and there's got to be something up those mountains. The limitation on the technology, I think, is part of what fueled that yearning that you're talking about, Tim. I mean, a more modern game, you probably could just go. It wouldn't leave anything to the imagination.
One of the things we noticed was, well, Helene noticed this. The first Dragon Warrior was released in the United States in 1989, but it was released in Japan as Dragon Quest, and I think it was 86.
Mm.
It was after 3 years, and they had, I think even Dragon Quest 3 was out or something like that. I may have the dates a little bit wrong, but our girls, Helene and my girls, who are 6 and 9, almost 7 and 10, are just about the same age that Helene was when she played Dragon Warrior.
And my older brother.
And your older brother, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're starting to play the remake of Dragon Quest 3.
That's great.
And one of the things I was telling Joseph the other day was, it's so interesting that they like it. Like I would think that they wouldn't, because they've got Pokemon, they've got Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Shield, other RPGs they're much more robust in all of them. But they still love it. They love grinding, and I was like, "You love grinding? I really love."
Right.
Right. My three kids, ages 10, 8, and 6 have been the same way with me playing Dragon Quest, this very early primitive game, and they get excited by the grinding, like, oh, it's just a slime. You can take care of that. Oh no, the magician! Click run, click run.
Right.
Like they're and they also have played, actually, you know this because you were there. You guys were there when he picked it out at the video game store for his birthday. My 8-year-old has started Pokemon Shield. They played Legend of Zelda games for the Switch and Mario for the Switch. Like, you might think this old game would be like, oh boy, this is inferior, but there's just an instinctive liking for it. I don't think I wonder, people talk about gaming so often in terms of just the technological progress. And there's no doubt that, you know, greater graphics, the more you can do with these three-dimensional worlds, it has all kinds of, wonderful advantages. But the way it produces good games that you couldn't have done in the past, in a way you couldn't have done in the past. But people always talk about it as this progression from, poorness or limitation to greater and greater heights. I don't think people think that an older game is inferior because it has, primitive graphics, primitive music until somebody tells them they're supposed to think of it that way. You know, like kids will instinctively like this, even if they've already been exposed to more recent games.
Well, this is something that I noticed when I came to the Episcopal Church. So I was raised in the Reformed tradition as a Dutch Reformed, and later I learned the Dutch Reformed is actually really like intense.
Yes.
Apparently, I didn't get any of that intensity. I did a lot of coloring pages of Jesus, feeding the multitudes. But so I was raised Reformed and grew up and kind of went spiritual but not religious, and then discovered the Episcopal Church with Helene and Joseph. Because Helene said, "Let's go back to let's go to church." So we went to the Catholic Church. I got a little bit irritated because I couldn't take communion, and it looked really really cool.
Yes.
So Joseph was like, "Let's go to the Anglican Church because it's right down the street, and
We can do communion there.
It was a
we
good
can do
compromise.
communion there." So, and I was like, "This is old. I love it." It was just, it was, it was all of this ritual and people were wearing robes and the ceremony and the Eucharistic prayer and all of it. I was just like, I've been looking for this. And that's, I think, how, until someone told me, it's all old and stodgy. I was like, no, this is new.
Right.
This is what I've been looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Everything has its own kind of flavor, its own kind of vibe or mood. And you don't just simply go from like, well, that's old, so it's lame and boring, and whatever is current uh is fresh and interesting. Like what's current has a certain vibe or mood, what's old has a certain vibe. But this is true of video games, churches, just about anything. And there are excellences everywhere.
I think it's interesting, Joseph, that you said that you wanted to feel the nostalgia that we were describing from having these games, but can you be nostalgic for something you didn't experience as a kid?
I've heard that you can. No, I think you is it not empathetic nostalgia? Right. I think you can. I don't know about if nostalgia is the right word for it. I think you can long for something you yourself didn't have. So a longing for a time you yourself didn't know, or a longing for a feeling or a experience you didn't have. Right. And the thing is, you can never have it the way you would have had it at that time. I'm not going to re-experience uh I'm not going to re-experience what I would have experienced if I'd gotten to play Dragon Warrior when I was a kid. And I won't experience exactly what you guys experienced. But I do think in an imperfect fallen world, there will be these imperfections, but we're trying to bridge the divides, you know? Like I want to approach closer to you guys by doing this and sharing your experience, however imperfect it will be, because it will be, right? Like you can't have exactly that same experience. This may not have been exactly what you were asking.
Oh, no. So this is like a vision of entering Eden that we never went to. So,
Yes, that's right. That's right.
you
That's
know,
true.
we can have longing, like you said, for something that we don't have firsthand experience of, but we know
Yeah.
probably is something that we desire.
Yes, that's right. That puts it perfectly. Yes, yes. And we're struggling for that and in whatever imperfect way we can, right?
So does that mean that in in heaven, or as Joseph teased me the other day saying, in the eschaton, does that mean that you can play Dragon Warrior in the 80s and have it feel like you were playing Dragon Warrior when you were 6 or 9?
And every time you read a book, it's the first time.
Yeah, does that is that what heaven is like? Can you have that nostalgia?
Great. Could it be layered on? Well, and also, with with reading a book or playing a video game, I think there's that wonderful freshness and richness of the first experience, but you also deepen it so much with repeated experiences. Can you, in the perfection of heaven, can you simultaneously have both pleasures?
Mm.
They're like, this is totally new to me, and this is totally deeply, wonderfully familiar.
And then to experience it, alone by yourself so deeply in your heart, but also in community with others.
Yes, right. That's
Like
right.
that's
That's another good one. Yes. Because I think on the one hand, yeah, I don't know about you guys. I love it sharing things in community, but sometimes also it just does feel like a little private thing, personal. So could it be a both and? I mean, I'm pinning my hopes on a lot of both and for heaven.
Well, you're in good company with an Episcopal priest and someone who is raised Catholic and has yet to join the Episcopal Church.
Are you allowed to be disappointed in heaven? I mean,
I mean, I think I think you're not supposed to be. But also, yeah, I think there's right. I mean, I think that's also we're very hopeful that it's going to be wonderful.
I often think about this with the Eucharist because, as a priest, I'm distributing the Eucharist. I give people the Eucharist and I receive it for myself. And my friend, Mike McCaffrey, I guess I shouldn't say people's names, but whatever. Mike McCaffrey. Hi, Mike. He asked me like, what's it like, distributing the Eucharist? Like, well, what is that like? What's that experience? And I was like, oh man, it's the greatest thing in the world. It's so wonderful. But the times that I remember the Eucharist being so, close to me are when I first was in the Episcopal Church and I had experiences that one was at a Roman Catholic church and I received the Eucharist anyway, even though I shouldn't have, but I did. And it was a wonderful experience.
teenager, right?
No, this was in Athens, Georgia here. Yeah, we went to one.
Oh, sorry.
Um, no, that was in Eugene. That was in Eugene, Oregon. We went to St. Mary's. But anyway, um, and another time was an experience with the Eucharist in Athens, Georgia, and it was so powerful that it made me believe immediately in consubstantiation. I was like, it's got to be. It's got to be Jesus is part of this bread in some way. I don't know how to explain it, but it's got to be that. And of all the times that I remember of receiving the Eucharist, those 2 times I remember the most, and they were very early when I started taking it. It's I have nostalgia for, like, "Oh, if only the Eucharist could be like that." But then again, I love it now as a priest.
Yes, right. There's a lot of different enjoyments, right? A lot of richness. Yeah.
Can we have all of that richness in heaven? I guess. I mean,
If anyone could do it, anyone could pull it off, it would be God.
probably not, yeah. Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, and and I like, especially since I get this. C.S. Lewis said that you know how Edmund Spenser, his 16th century epic, The Fairy Queen, was supposed to be 12 books, but he only ever finished 6, you know. Uh and if you like the Chronicles of Narnia, you read The Fairy Queen and you say, "Man, I see where Lewis was getting this." So, just rollicking fantasy and Christian symbolism and just knights and warriors, dragons, monsters. It's just great. And Lewis said part of his idea of heaven, he gets there and uh Edmund Spencer has the remaining 6 volumes that he didn't live to write ready for him, and Lewis gets to finally enjoy the rest of the epic. You know, I think we could find a, so I wanna read it next, when Lewis is done. Like, I want be next. But also, probably think of video games like this, right? Like, what are the lost video games?
I can tell you.
Yes, please. Like, I wanna hear what is your, like, example of that, and has that
Xenogears.
I knew it.
That's what it is.
Knew it.
So Xenogears, I had a
Oh,
legitimate religious experience playing Xenogears. It came out in 96, something like that. I remember getting it for Christmas and playing it in like 2 weeks. And this game is a mess. I mean, there's 2 discs. The first disc, it's just the plot's all over the place. You have like 2-hour stretches between when you can save, and it's all just dialogue. I remember it's one scene where Faye, the main character, drags. They're in these mechs, and Faye grabs the heroine, Ellie, and just throws her down to where her people are destroying the city, and says, "Look at all of the pain and sorrow you're causing these people in this world, and it's wrong for you to be at war." And I was like, "Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes." And then the second disc is there's no gameplay almost. It's like almost no gameplay.
And how did that happen? Why is that?
Well, and the whole idea, or at least the explanation I've heard, is that they ran out of money, they ran out of time,
Oh gosh.
and they just weren't able to see it through.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it has anime cutscenes in it, and they're really, really well done.
Mhm.
You can circle around 360 degrees of most places, so you had to code all of that.
Right.
But there's a lot of potentials for that. But they had planned it where that was the 5th episode of 6. I think 6, yeah. So they had planned, we're gonna have 6 episodes. This is number 5, and it's unfinished. And then it was Squaresoft was so like horrified at this game that was just, not finished.
if they still released
They
it,
still released it.
been translated, brought it over,
I don't know.
all that.
Gotta try to make some money on that.
I guess.
And they're like, we're not gonna finish this thing. So later, the people who made that game left Squaresoft and formed Monolith Soft, and they made Xenosaga, and Xenosaga is 3 episodes, three games of one of those episodes, basically.
Huh.
And
It's so
and they're just, again, it's like 2 or 3 hour cutscenes.
only
Games.
this time they were voiced and there were videos. It's not just text on the screen.
Yeah.
That's good, but
And and they were gonna be longer, but after episode 2, which was this very short, I do not out of all the Zeno games, that was the worst, I think.
it's about 10 hours to beat.
Yeah, it was
It was tiny.
118 hours or something. It was tiny, and it was not good.
Huh.
They said, "Okay, well, we gotta finish up with the next one." They were planning more episodes. So that itself is cut short.
Right. And incomplete and
And in the eschaton, all of Xenogears will be 8 games. Xenosaga will be 8 games.
There you
Xenoblade
go.
will be attached to it, and everything will be released, and it'll be wonderful, and I will be at peace.
There it is. There it is. So, right. So C.S. Lewis will be reading books 7 through 12 of the Fairy Queen, and you'll be playing in the next room the perfected, completed Xenogears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I joke, but that is quite a beautiful thought, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Oh, this isn't a joke.
No, I know. I'm being a little facetious. I realize I'm taking a light tone, but it is quite wonderful.
Well, and you told me about you told us about the part in Dante's Inferno where the Franciscans and the Dominicans say, "Oh, they're in heaven," and they're like, "Oh, I see so much of the good that you've brought to the
Right.
world." And, oh, and no, 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 we didn't bring as much of good as you did. They're these
Right.
warring monastic traditions are reconciled. C.S. Lewis and I will both say, "Oh, the Fairy Queen, I want to read that too."
That's right.
And C.S. Lewis will therefore say, "Oh, tell me about Xenogears."
Right. That's right. This is what will happen.
He'd already
Right.
finished all of Xenogears.
Okay, that's right. this is the next part, right? This is the other thing we have to say, exactly right, where there's this reconciliation, the no more imperfect bridges, right? Connecting people, like we are, those connections are whole and complete. Yeah. And then what that does have to mean is that you will read The Fairy Queen and C.S. Lewis will be playing. Just picture that.
So
C.S. Lewis will be playing
if those connections
Xenogears.
if the connections are more direct, then do we have a hand in the creation of these too? I mean, it's sub-creation, so, like
The making of these, you mean like these relationships?
no, it's
These
like Fairy Queen and
Oh, you have a hand in creating Fairy Queen, the book 7 to 12 with Edmund Spencer.
Oh boy, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that.
yeah, I don't know how that works.
Well, you
I mean, do you want to have a hand in making the rest of?
yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have some ideas about what the game is. I mean, if anyone can do it, God can do it.
Well, yes, I know. Here,
But was our whatever we desired now, is that a good like, how important are our egos in heaven?
right? No, right. Not important. I know it would have to be, yeah, total humility. It would be undertaken in total humility.
Okay, but is this like in Evangelion where we all kinda form together in one we sorry for spoilers. That's what happens at the end.
Yeah.
Or do we keep our individuality, you know?
You don't think we'll listen to Evangelion for doctrine?
Okay, but Xenogears is say
All I'm saying is that Xenogears is in heaven.
Right.
And has so is it super
Perfected in heaven.
it's perfected in heaven, and Ava perfected in heaven. I don't know what it looks like.
it might look very different.
It may look
It might be the Care Bears, who knows?
Oh, right. So actually, right, the perfection of I'm gonna we should hang on that. The divine perfection of Neon Genesis Evangelion is the Care Bears.
I think Hideki Anno, I think
Someone out there is upset right now.
is really upset. He's sneezing and rolling in his he's probably asleep right now, so he's tossing and turning in his bed, just dreaming of the Care Bears.
Like, thinking that, like, the Care Bears themselves are perfected. There's something else. And we do a lot of Care Bears in this house.
This may seem the way I'm talking about it that I do not like Evangelion, but I also was watching Evangelion while playing Xenogears.
Right. Right.
No, simultaneously.
Yeah, no,
Literally.
Well, no, because he had to use the TV for that.
Yeah. They did it. But no, right, the same time period in your life. That's right.
I mean, like, yeah.
we we went to a video game store over the weekend and saw a CRTV that was big enough for my children to get inside.
Good gracious.
And I said, "This is what TVs used to be," and they were like, "What?" What is
If you were lucky.
we're lucky, yeah.
That's right. That's right. And now supposedly like CRTVs are popular with retro gamers. Like they want to have it's more conducive to the image and sound, I guess. I've seen YouTube videos about like how to get a, a CRT. Thankfully, it's the kind of thing that no people haven't really figured out yet. For the most part, I think that they could make a lot of money on this by
Yeah.
catering to the retro
Well, now they
crowd.
know. You
Oh
just
yeah.
showed them.
Oh shoot. Yeah. No, don't listen.
Maybe you should go into business, buy up CRTV or just sell them online for a few extra bucks.
Right. I could use it to fund my seasonal Cadbury egg habit.
Well, you can't
I'm on my second
Thanks.
Cadbury egg of the season, and
Joseph, it's not even Lent.
Even Lent.
I gotta enjoy them while I can. In the UK you get them year round, but here in the States only for a short time. And man, the prices go up every year, but I gotta feed my Cadbury egg habit.
Well, since I bought 2 boxes of tag-along cookies from Girl Scouts in the mall.
You did. I was there, but that was benevolent. Like I haven't told my kids that I have some Cadbury eggs. They don't even know.
Yeah, one of the boxes did go to the children.
Oh, that's good. That's nice. That's nice. I mean, I will share my Cadbury eggs. No, I mean, my kids will get. I just want to say I'm not cruel. In their Easter basket, they'll have Cadbury eggs, but they don't need them yet. Just me.
So we decided to start with a topic that we thought would not carry us through, but we've already spent a half hour talking about nostalgia and video games and the eschaton.
That's true. I think so. The topic was to be
how the gaming table is like the church.
Yeah.
So next time,
I think next time.
we will talk about that.
Well, so join us next time
as we talk about relevant things.
Yes, highly relevant things.
Highly relevant.
The best relevant things. The best kind of relevant things. The gaming table and how it is like the church. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. I'm looking forward to having this discussion with you guys.
We apparently made Adam laugh. All I see of
Our producer is chuckling.
yeah.
That's good.
Well, thank you for listening, everyone. God bless
you, everyone.
Be well.
Yeah, next time.
Goodbye.
Well, I mean, I had a good time.
Well, I had a very good time. I think this was very fun and relevant discussion, I think.
Relevant. Yes.
Sure.